They called him the perfect man. Everyone in the neighborhood loved him. The charming stepfather who brought flowers for his wife every Friday, volunteered at the local shelter, and never raised his voice. To the outside world, he was warmth wrapped in human form. But behind closed doors, something was terribly wrong. Every night at exactly 2:13 a.m., the door to Leah's room would click open. She could smell his cologne, that expensive woody scent that once made her mother smile. At first, she thought she was dreaming. Then she started locking her door. But somehow it still opened. Nobody believed her. Her mother said she was imagining things. "You've been watching too many crime shows, Leah." Her friends laughed and said she was paranoid. Until one night, Leah hid a small camera behind her lamp. What that camera recorded would change her life forever. When her mother remarried, Leah was 19, in her second year of college, quiet, observant, still healing from her parents' divorce. Her stepfather, Daniel, seemed like the dream her mother had prayed for. Patient, stable, with that calm smile that made you trust him without reason. He moved into their home on the hill, bringing laughter, order, and expensive perfume that smelled like cedar and smoke. To Leah, he was polite but distant, always careful, always composed. Until he wasn't. The first strange thing happened one rainy evening. Leah was studying in her room when Daniel knocked softly. "Your mom's running late from work. Thought you might be hungry," he said. "Thanks. I'm fine," she replied. "Come on, kiddo, can't let you starve." He smiled, set a bowl of soup on her desk, and stayed a little too long. His eyes lingered, but his words were sweet. She felt uncomfortable, but brushed it off. He's just being nice, she told herself. Over the following weeks, Daniel became unusually attentive. He remembered her schedule. He complimented her hair, her clothes, even her perfume. Her mother found it flattering. He's just being supportive. He really cares about us. But Leah started noticing little things. Her bedroom door, unlocked in the morning. Her phone, slightly moved from where she left it. The faint scent of his cologne on her pillow. One night, she woke up suddenly. That feeling, like someone was watching her. The hallway light was off, but the door was ajar, just an inch. Her heart raced. She froze. Then she heard the faintest sound, a floorboard creaking, slow and deliberate. "Mom," she whispered. No reply. Only silence. She couldn't sleep again that night. The next morning, she told her mother what she felt. Her mother's face tightened, not in worry, but irritation. "Leah, please. Daniel's been nothing but kind. You're making him uncomfortable." "I'm not imagining things. Someone opened my door last night. It's an old house. The doors move when the wind blows." That sentence would haunt her for weeks. Every time Leah tried to bring it up again, her mother's patience thinned. So she stayed quiet, pretending to believe the lie everyone preferred. But the fear didn't stop. It grew, like mold behind painted walls. One night, Leah decided to prove it. She bought a cheap mini camera online and hid it behind her bedside lamp, angled at the door. She left her room just as she always did. Light off, blanket slightly folded. Then she pretended to sleep. Hours passed. Rain tapped against the window. Then click, the door handle moved. Slowly, softly. Her heart pounded. She stayed perfectly still, her eyes closed, her breathing shallow. A faint shadow stretched across her floor. And then, the smell again, that same cologne. She wanted to scream, but couldn't. The figure stood still, watching, for nearly a full minute. Then the door clicked shut again. Leah didn't sleep that night. She waited for morning, hands trembling, replaying the sound over and over in her head. The next day, when her mother left for work, Leah locked the door, closed her curtains, and opened the footage. Her breath caught in her throat. At 2:13 a.m., the door opened. The camera shook slightly from the soft wind of Leah's bedside fan. And there, in the dim light, was Daniel's face. He didn't move fast or frantic. He moved like he belonged there. He stood still for almost a full minute, staring at her as she slept, before quietly stepping out and closing the door behind him. Leah pushed back from her desk, her chair falling to the ground. Her hands flew to her mouth, her stomach twisting in horror. She felt sick, the kind of sickness that comes when reality tilts and you realize the danger has been standing right in front of you all along. That evening, Daniel came home early. Leah heard him downstairs humming softly as he set the dinner table, the sound hauntingly calm. When her mother went upstairs to shower, Daniel knocked gently on Leah's door. "Can we talk?" he asked. "About what?" she managed to say, her voice trembling. He smiled, but his eyes were cold. You've been acting strange lately. Is there something you're hiding? Her hand inched toward her laptop, the one that held the video, as he stepped closer. You know, trust is everything in a family, he murmured. The air grew heavy as he turned the lock. The sound was soft, almost polite, but to Leah, it echoed like a prison gate closing. He stood there, hands in his pockets, wearing that calm half-smile that always made her skin crawl. Only her desk lamp lit the room, its warm light flickering across his face. You've been quiet lately, he said. I've been busy with school. I think it's something else. Leah tried to hide her shaking hands beneath the desk. Her laptop was still open beside her. The video paused exactly on the frame that showed him standing in her doorway. Her heart thudded violently in her chest. I hope you trust me, Leah, he said. I do. Good. Because your mother does. She'd be very upset if she thought you didn't feel safe here. His tone carried an edge, something dark and deliberate. He wasn't threatening her with words. He was threatening her with silence, with calm control. Then, as suddenly as he had entered, he unlocked the door. Dinner's ready, he said softly, and left. Leah sat frozen long after the door closed. Her body felt numb, as though she had been underwater for too long. When she finally turned toward her screen, the glow of the paused video still filled the room. Daniel's shadowed figure staring straight at her from the night before. The following days felt unreal. Daniel acted as though nothing had happened. Cheerful, attentive, even affectionate. He laughed at the breakfast table. He kissed Leah's mother on the cheek. And her mother didn't notice the tremor in Leah's hands, or the way she flinched when Daniel stood too close. Leah couldn't tell her. How could she explain that the man her mother called her second chance was quietly destroying her peace? Every night, Leah thought about showing her the video, but fear always stopped her. What if her mother didn't believe her? What if Daniel found out first? Still, the camera kept recording. And every single night, like a ritual, the door opened again at 2:13 a.m. He never spoke, never touched her. He just stood there in the dark, breathing softly, watching. The sound of the gunshots still echoed in Leah's ears. She sat on the cold floor, trembling, the air thick with smoke and silence. Daniel lay motionless beside her, the man who once smiled in family photos now nothing but a hollow shell. Her father's breathing was faint but real. She pressed her hand gently on his shoulder. Dad, hold on. Please. Officer Ramirez knelt beside them, calling for paramedics. We got him, Leah. It's over. But deep inside, Leah knew this wasn't over. Not yet. A week later, Leah sat in a quiet interrogation room again, this time as a witness, not a suspect, not a victim. Ramirez entered with a laptop and a sealed envelope. We found a hidden storage locker registered under Daniel's alias, he said. And what we found inside changes everything. Leah leaned forward, her heart pounding. Inside the locker were dozens of drives, all neatly labeled with dates and names. Daniel kept records of everyone he blackmailed, Ramirez said grimly. Politicians, businessmen, even police officials. He was running an entire network. Leah's eyes widened. He filmed them. Ramirez nodded. He used his charm to get close to families. He'd install hidden cameras in their homes under the guise of security upgrades. Then he'd use the footage to control them. Leah felt sick. Her stepfather wasn't just a monster. He was part of something much larger, darker. Ramirez hesitated, then opened a folder labeled Elaine. Leah's heart stopped when she saw her mother's name. What's that? She asked quietly. He clicked play. The screen flickered, showing a shaky recording of Elaine in their living room years ago. Daniel's voice spoke from behind the camera. You'll do what I say, or your daughter sees what you did to your husband. Leah's eyes widened. What did he mean? Ramirez paused the video. There's more. You might want to prepare yourself. He hit play again. The video cut to another angle. Leah's father, bound to a chair, pleading. Elaine, please. You don't know what he's capable of. Elaine's voice trembled. I didn't mean for it to go this far. Daniel stepped into frame, calm and smiling. Then sign the papers, darling. Say it was an accident. He crashed the car. You cried. And you move on. Leah covered her mouth, tears spilling down her cheeks. He forced her to lie, she whispered. Ramirez nodded. Your mother was manipulated. She thought she was protecting you, but Daniel was pulling every string. Leah sat back, numb. It wasn't just abuse. It was psychological warfare. 2 days later, Leah returned home for the first time since the shooting. The house was quiet, stripped of its warmth. Her mother sat by the window, pale and tired. "Mom," Leah said softly. Elaine turned slowly, her eyes hollow. "You saw the video, didn't you?" Leah nodded. "I did." Elaine's voice broke. "I thought if I did what he wanted, he'd leave you alone. I didn't know he was recording me. I didn't know he was keeping your father alive." Leah knelt beside her. "You were scared. I get that. But it's over now." Elaine handed her a small notebook. "He kept this hidden under our bed. I couldn't bring myself to open it." Leah opened it. Daniel's handwriting covered the pages. Every entry detailed his manipulation, dates, names, emotional triggers, lies told to both women. But one page caught her eye. The last entry, written the night before his death. "She's getting too close. The girl is smarter than I thought. If she finds out about the others, it all collapses. I may have to do what I did before." Leah frowned. "The others?" Elaine shook her head. "I don't know what he meant." But Leah did. He wasn't talking about their family. He was talking about other families. Leah met with Ramirez again. "What did he mean by the others?" Ramirez sighed. "We've started tracing his aliases. Turns out, Daniel was married 3 times before, all under different names. In every case, the stepdaughter disappeared or ended up in therapy for trauma." Leah felt her stomach twist. How did no one notice? Ramirez rubbed his temples. He was careful. He changed cities, identities, and used fake documents. He knew how to erase himself. Leah's voice trembled. "So, there could be more victims?" Ramirez nodded. "We believe so. And your story may help others come forward." Weeks later, Leah agreed to an interview with a local news station. She sat in front of the camera, her hair tied back, her voice steady. "I used to think monsters hid in the dark," she said. "But sometimes, they hide in plain sight, smiling at the dinner table, calling you family." The journalist asked, "What made you speak up?" Leah smiled faintly. "Because silence protects the wrong people." Her interview aired that night, and within hours, messages poured in. Other young women recognized Daniel's face. Some from years ago, some from different states. The network of manipulation was wider than anyone imagined. Months passed. Leah began rebuilding her life. She returned to school, started therapy, and moved into a small apartment near the coast. One morning, she received a letter in the mail, no return address. Inside was a single photo, a young woman holding a sign that read, "Thank you, Leah." Dozens of similar letters followed over the weeks, all from survivors. Every one of them shared the same message. "You helped me speak up." One evening, Leah stood by the ocean, the sunset painting the sky gold and crimson. Her father, now fully recovered, walked up beside her. "You did it," he said quietly. "You ended his cycle." Leah smiled faintly, her eyes glistening. "I didn't do it alone." They stood in silence for a while, waves crashing softly. Finally, Leah whispered, "Do you think people like him ever really die?" Her father looked at the horizon. "Not as long as people stay silent." "But you broke that silence." "That's how evil dies. Not with bullets, but with truth." Leah nodded, the wind brushing her hair. For the first time in years, she felt peace. Months later, Leah started a foundation called The Hidden Light, a support network for survivors of manipulation and domestic abuse. Her first public speech went viral online, titled "The Monster Who Smiled Like Family." She ended it with words that made millions stop scrolling and listen. Sometimes the people who say they protect you are the ones you need protection from. But once you speak your truth, you take their power away. And that's when healing begins.